Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. All right, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. I have with me Pastor Larita. Am I saying it right, Pastor Larita?
You absolutely are.
All right. Okay. I'm from back in the projects and stuff. So I know people may be like, Larita. No, it's Larita. I knew it was Larita. Okay. Pastor Larita Rice-Barnes is here in the studio with me today. And listen, everyone, grab your virtual seats. Let's get ready to have a great episode here on the Kim Jacobs Show. I'm encouraging you all to bring a friend to the studio. People can ask questions, comments, just some nice positive shout outs, whatever needs to happen for you to have a great experience here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So, Pastor, this is also an opportunity for you to share it with your friends and family as well at this time.
Absolutely.
All right. You already did
right now.
All right. While she's in the process of sharing, I'll go ahead and introduce my guest for today. Okay, let me introduce my guest for today's Pastor Larita Rice-Barnes is the founder of Global Impact Leadership Alliance. She's also the founder of Reset America, Reset Africa, and the lead author and visionary for My Pink Stilettos. So welcome today, Pastor Barnes.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be on the platform with you today.
Oh, I am too. I'm super excited. And I told you backstage, a couple of things. So I told you, feel free to, use your energy and share everything that God has given you. But thank God today we have a pastor on the show.
Amen.
I'm very grateful for that, actually, because I'll definitely let you guys know that I had a friend that passed away this past weekend, and it's a lot. She has children, same amount of children I have, and it's a lot to process. And so please keep Cherie Kelly Jones and her family in prayer. And they definitely need as many prayers as possible, because obviously anytime you have a mom about my age with children that are young in age, you want to see your children be able to grow up on this earth and be a part of all of their wonderful future engagements and things that's going to happen. But at the end of the day, we know, and we do know this, that heaven is her home, and she's in eternal glory. So I'm very grateful for that, and don't take that for granted. That piece doesn't make me sad. I rejoice in that. But it's just sad in knowing that, my friend is not here on this earth any longer, But I didn't want to cancel my shows this week, because I want to make sure that I'm here with my guests that already have confirmed. And I'm so honored to have each and every guest that will be on this week. Next week, I'm going to take off. Okay, so just so everybody have a little courtesy heads up, on next week, Monday through Friday of next week, I will be off for that week, and we will resume in the week of the 12th. So, Pastor Barnes, you're like, oh Lord, I came on a day that she got all this going on in her life, but you said you did some class work that you understand some things.
Yes. And I want to jump in right there. I just got out of class. It's my pastoral theology class. And in that class, we're talking about grief, suffering, and lamentation. I also participate in our Live Free Chaplaincy Homicide Response cohort. Okay. And with that, we've been talking about grief. And so it's kind of running parallel. So it has caused me to reflect on some moments and some things where I've been carrying grief for quite a long time. Mm-hmm. And I want to say to you and those that are watching that there are processes of grief. There are stages of grief. Right. And so what happens in most cases is that we'll start to go through those stages of grief, and then we don't get to the end of that chart, but then we'll revert back to points of that grief. My grandmother has been deceased for 17 years. And I realized that I intentionally didn't get a headstone because it was like a finality for me.
Right.
finality. I didn't go to, I was avoiding going to the gravesite because it was like I was reopening the wound.
Right.
But I've also dealt with guilt because I'm like, I need to go. I need to
Right, right. It's like a lot of factors.
there. But I've wanted to go. So when you shared that with me backstage, I'm in that moment with you right now.
Mm.
One of the chapters we're talking about is making space for someone else. And so today, space is being made for you to be invited into that process of grief where you are as you bear through these transitions. And then just know that there is a family of people across the world, across the globe, and even now that's standing with you and her family in this moment as you transition through it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pastor. See, that's why God knows everything. To have you on today and to have you just completing that class in your pastoral theological studies is just incredibly inspiring. So thank you, and thank you for being my guest today. Take us on a journey for everything that's gone on in your life. You're this pastor that's passionate about seeing other people win. I hear you say that, and I want to know what started this process for you.
Wow, man. When you said that, I felt, we say we get these goosebumps everywhere.
Right.
I felt them. I think in part, I have to, in most often times, refer back to just my childhood. You were sharing with me where you grew up. I grew up right in the middle of the hood. I grew up in a city called East St. Louis, which is a disenfranchised city. At the moment, lots of dilapidated buildings. It was a thriving city at one point, but it has dealt with a lot of systemic oppression that has robbed us as community of people. I dealt with the acts of molestation and sexual abuse growing up, and I was raped when I was in high school. And so I think with that, and then my mom was also a victim of the war on drugs that was planted in the 90s in our Black communities in the form of crack cocaine. And so he was on that for several years. So transitioning through my teen years, my adult years, going through the criticism and all of that, knowing what it's like not to have, but also seeing my mother and grandmother very adamant about making sure that the necessities that we needed were provided. So my heart and passion was for gangbangers and streetwalkers and those that were out on the street. I was an alcoholic in my teen years. I drank a lot. I cooked crack and sold crack because I wanted to prevent my mother from being out on the streets. And her friends. So I had a lot of transitions that happen in life that when people look now, they're like, you didn't go through that. And that's how the power of God works when he touches us. His grace is so sufficient, just as he has said, and he will clean us up where we don't look like what we've been through.
Oh my God.
Hebrew boys in the fiery furnace. They went in, but in our sanctified imaginations, what we say, they didn't come out smelling like smoke. They didn't look like it. They weren't burned. And that's what God's power does for us. It preserves us, and it puts us in a state of completeness of the things that we've come out of, where we'll testify and be able to help others that are in those situations.
Well, let me stop you for a second. This is already, you've said so many things that some people, that's where their story ends. It's like, that's it. Growing up in poverty.
Yes.
Just dealing with that alone. And how that impacts people that's in childhood. I know how it impacted me, but how did your mindset embrace poverty that you were dealing with, but not becoming a victim to the circumstances? Because I know how I did it, but I want to hear also how you did it.
There are so many days, Kim, that I've spent thinking on that very thing. What happened? What was the pivotal point? What was the changing point? Because when I look back, I have people that I went to middle school with. That one young lady, she was killed while we were in middle school. I've lost so many along the way by various means and reasons, and from different things. And so and a lot of them still drinking or on drugs or different things,
Right.
because they have used those things as coping mechanisms.
Mhm.
But for me, I think even as a little girl, my mother and grandmother, I was raised in a single family home. They did not frequent church all the time, but they had a strong belief in God and they believed in prayer. And I don't have the testimony like some do that say my mother and grandmother was running around the house praying and having prayer meetings. No, but I knew that they believed in it through the conversations and the
Right.
actions, and they talked about it. And so as a little girl, it was just a powerful experience. And I described them when I was much younger as imaginary friends. And as I got
Yes.
older, I realized that I was being entertained by angels.
Mhm.
And so with that, I had personal visitations and encounters with the power and the presence of God, that gave me blueprints as it relates to relationships that have obviously along the way been challenged.
Mhm.
But the part of overcoming is my faith in God, even when I probably couldn't spell faith and understood what it really
Right.
meant. Somehow I was in pursuit of this person that we call God,
Right. Right.
and in it, I found solace. In it, I
Mhm.
found peace. He directed my path. Somehow he would put me in contact with the right people at the right time, not for the things that I've thought originally it should be. A lot of my friends, they went to college right after school. I didn't. I was tired of school, to be quite frank. I was happy to graduate because many of them that I was in school with had dropped out. And so I was part of the last Mohegan, if you will, that was
Mhm.
trying to finish high
Right.
school, being challenged by all of the things that urban community children are being challenged with, because of our lack of resources. And so we
Right.
don't readily have the rec centers and different things that other communities have to help keep us from things. And so I think I hung out a lot with my grandmother, and that undoubtedly kept me from a lot of things.
Good. Good.
But along the way, a lot has happened. So it was really my faith in God. And it may sound real simplistic or too deep on one end, but that was certainly what guided me and helped me to get to the place of where I am right now.
That's really interesting that you say that because I do share similar situation.
Yeah.
And growing up, I was like, God, how is it that these adults are coming to me and asking me for advice and direction and opinions? And I would be walking down the street talking to some of my older cousins, and they would be seeking advice from me. I'm like, I don't know. I'm a teenager
Yeah.
here. I have no idea. I'm just telling you what I think should be the case, but you might know better than me. But many times I realized that God was preparing me to be able to impact the masses. And he had already put in my spirit I was going to impact the masses, but I just didn't know how.
Yeah.
So along our journeys, Pastor Barnes, I'm sure you can relate, we
Yeah.
go through different things and we seek various opportunities to see, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Did you ever encounter that in your journey?
Absolutely. I'll tell you this. One of the things, and it's so ironic too that you bring that up. I remember being around 10 to 12 years old. And back then we had a lot of Jehovah Witnesses that would come to our house
Right.
and, bam on our door and want to get in. And I come from a Christian background. And so, but with that, there was a church of God in Christ that was at the corner. And then there was a Catholic church behind us. And the irony with all of this is that the sisters from the Catholic church would interact with some of the kids in the community and have us planting, in the gardens and things of that. There was a mosque that was probably about 7 blocks from our house. And so we had all these different denominations and faith communities that surrounded us. And I remember being so confused, Kim. And I struggled around that age of 12, whether or not God was real. And I remember feeling like I was just in this bubble of torment because I'm like, I don't get it. I was so frustrated. And I remember walking down the sidewalk by our home. And as I was walking down the sidewalk, that was the very first time that I had ever heard the audible voice of God. And he said, if God isn't real, who made the moon? Who made the stars? There are no metal attachments that are keeping there. Scientists cannot describe, why it's there. He said if man was in control, it will be raining on your lawn. It will be snowing on mine. The sun will be shining on the other neighbor's lawn. It will be sprinkling on this neighbor's lawn. He said, man, do not have control. I have control. He said, who made the vision? And it was literally like I stepped outside of my body and I can see myself standing there. And the vision became so clear. And that was a turning point for me that I have just held on to along the way. No matter how much my faith has been shaken, I realized that I have unshakable faith because the seed of God that was personally implanted in me. And that's one of the things that I teach, even in our congregation and those that I mentor and coach, is that want a spiritual connection with God is the mere fact that you have to have that personal relationship. You have to go on your own quest with God for yourself so that you would have an encounter, so that when the enemy comes, the enemy, as we know, comes to tempt us or to distract us or comes to steal, that we have something on the inside of us where there's some stick-to-itness, where we're like that tree planted by the water, right? I shall not be moved. You're not going to cause me to move because I'm going to stand.
That's good. Good. I pressed some kind of button. I was trying to cut and paste and I was like, oh, I took myself out the screen.
Give me my own spotlight for a minute.
That's good. If that ever happens, I'm grateful to have guests that know exactly how you didn't even miss a beat. That's how God works, right? Now, a lot of people that are watching that have experienced, for those that are just tuning in, and I encourage you to go ahead and share it with your friends immediately. Invite them to be a part of this because Pastor Larita Rice-Barnes is on talking about stepping into your purpose today here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So make sure you officially share this with everybody you know, because everybody needs to know how to step into your purpose. And we're going to go into that a little deeper later in today's broadcast. But as you went through your journey through childhood, dealing with rape, how did you come on the other side of that?
I revert back to the day that it happened. And I remember, and I told you that I don't know that I've actually publicly shared this particular part before. So it'd be the first on your platform. Okay. So maybe somebody needs to hear it. I revert back to that. But I told you that I was an alcoholic when I was younger. And so I was always known for being able to hold my liquor. I didn't get drunk. I wasn't overly tipsy, but I can drink and I was still very coherent. This particular day, I remember distinctly, as we had left, we had been out playing pool and all that. And it was a friend that, I had known, and he was part of the community and things of that nature. Never had tried to make any type of pass or anything prior to that. When we left and we got in the vehicle, and I remember just laying back. Well, I'm in the car with my friend. I can lay back and chill if I want,
Right.
Tired, but I did realize that I was a little more lax than normal and not so aware. When I think back now, when the date, rape, drugs, and all of that, obviously something had been placed in my drink that wasn't the norm. But I didn't know that at the time because I didn't even know what that stuff was.
Right, of course.
And he drove me out probably about an hour from our house. And I remember thinking, why are we driving so long? It seems so long from where we were because I was supposed to go home. But after that act, I remember in the process of it, and I remember screaming, Jesus. And it felt like it was as loud as I can, and everything stopped. He stopped everything. And during that time, and I remember feeling nasty after it and so embarrassed, and and he was going to kill me because obviously I knew him, and that was the intent. And so we stopped at this gas station. Back then it was a very white, but we call them from the hood, redneck, very hick town area, that didn't really care for Black people. And so when we went to the area, I remember getting out the car and he said, if you try to do anything, I'm gonna kill you. And I said, well, I need to just call my mother and them and let them know that, I'm all right. And when I called them and I told them his name and what had happened, and he went to use the restroom in this gas station, in the process of that, I told the guy that was working at the counter, and you could tell they were not used to Black people. And he really didn't want to have dealings with me, but the Holy Spirit, I know, intervened in that moment. And I told him what happened and that he was saying he was going to kill me. And the guy hit me behind the counter in the gas station. He hid
Oh,
me behind the counter in the gas station, so that when he
well, he
came,
risked his life, basically.
yes, and when he came out calling for me and all of that, he could not find me. And so the police, because I
Hmm.
told you it was a mostly white community, very racist community actually, during that time. And but they didn't want to take a report or anything. Well, you need to file the report when you get home. And I'm like, it happened here. You know, they're not
Right.
gonna do it. That's another story. But you, so you're part of your question, how did I navigate through that? It was super difficult, because it affected my self-esteem and my confidence level even more.
Hmm.
And I think having to navigate through the process of carrying that,
Hmm.
um, and being able to talk about it. And even in the church world, when I began to talk about it, I was muffled. You know, people, why you're talking about that? Why are you telling people that? You know, we don't talk about that. But it was part of my deliverance and part of my healing. And God
Right.
used it, as he did in my first book, Trapped in the System, talking about those things that are very taboo to people.
Hmm.
And it's because there are many people like me that have dealt with abuse of that nature and they don't know how to talk about it. They're afraid or embarrassed. But my thing is, you don't have to be. It's part of our deliverance. It's something that happened, but we don't have to allow it to hold us captive. You
Hmm.
too can be free.
Did that gentleman ever, did anything ever happen with him, or did he just go on in life, or what? I mean, because so many rape stories are people just go on and live life like nothing ever happened. I don't understand what's happening.
So during that time, we did file a police report and all of that. They took me to the hospital, so they were able to verify that it actually happened. And my mother and grandmother, because of the time, you know, during that time, we're talking about right at the beginning of the 90s. So not late 80s, early 90s. And so during that time, they didn't want me to go through the embarrassment of
Right.
being publicly, you know, ridiculed of it happening. And so when we got to the final stages, charges wasn't pressed, which that is part of what happened a lot of times. People either never talk about it or you never press charges because it's just a lot. I saw him, it hadn't been a year
Mm.
after that happened, and he walked up to me, as though nothing had ever happened, and called my
Mm.
name. And it was like, you know how people describe the voice of God, like this thunderous voice of God.
Mhm.
Well, it had an effect of this, but it was not pleasant at all. And
Mm.
it brought a lot of fear and torment to me. And I remember just being like planted on that sidewalk and shocked that there was no apology. It was almost like nothing happened. He died. He died several years after that. And apparently it was something that he was doing with sexually abusing women. Some other things that come out, that even the friends that was around him and us didn't know that part of his life that he was indulging in.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So okay, wow. This is a deeper than any kind of Lifetime movie that people be watching. I don't know, whatever they be watching. These are based on true, real situations, and you can't put together a story that's better, you know, from just a movie cinematic perspective. This is real life, and you're not a movie character. You live
So
this. You live this. You live through this. So, how do you advise other women that have experienced this, or girls, to be
mhm.
able to get to the point where they're like how you are now, vibrant, energetic, bringing joy to the
Yeah.
world? How do you inspire people to be there?
You know, God gave me something probably about 7 years ago, and I talk about holes in the soul.
Mm.
And with that, one of the things that he has shown me, what happens is that from traumatic experiences,
Mhm.
such as what we've been talking about here, people tend to not share it. And they think that they have to die and go to the grave with it. When I wrote my first book and it began to take off, and being interviewed through radio, TV, all of that, the book was read. The youngest was 8 years old. The oldest was about 89 years
Mhm.
old, 87, 89 years old. And with that, both male and female, and they were very appreciative
Mhm.
of the fact of sharing about these stories.
Good.
So what I say to individuals is this, that you do not have to be afraid to share your story. When I was preaching a message several years ago, one of the things that came to me was that the Holy Spirit gave me this quote, and it was, scars are an indication of where you come from, not a limitation to where you're going. I'll say that again. Scars are a indication of where you come from, but not a limitation to where you are going. I want to say that one more time because I believe it's going to bless somebody. Scars are an indication of where you come from, not a limitation to where you are going. And oftentimes we are so bogged down because of what happened and don't realize that we can move past that. Just like Jesus whipped and beat, scars, but it did not limit him from accomplishing his destiny and moving forward into what he had been purposed to do. So I tell people, male and female, you don't have to die with that hole in your soul. I told the Lord before he comes back, whether I'm raptured or take my last breath here, I want every hole in my soul to be made whole. Every hole in my soul to be made whole. And that's my quest, to help people to reset their lives, to help people to walk into their purpose, to renew their minds and know that there is purpose. And those holes can be healed. They can be made whole.
That's so beautiful. Everybody that's watching today, hashtag whole, 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 hashtag whole, and let just proclaim wholeness in your life. Yeah. And Pastor Barnes will be able to go back and see your comments later, but I want to make sure that you teach people while we're on this particular broadcast how they can step into their purpose. What steps do you advise for people to take? Actionable steps. Do this that can help people step into what they consider as their purpose.
You know, the first thing is allow God to let the mirror come down. Allow God to let the spiritual mirror come down. Do not be afraid of what you see. I remember crying and screaming in the bed several years ago. I was going through a situation. I can't remember which one now because it was multiple. And I was asking God, oh my God, just going at it. And he put the mirror down. And even though there were things that people had did to me in that moment, it wasn't even about what they had did. It was about the work that I had to do for myself.
That's good.
The work that I had to do for myself. And there is inner work that we all are responsible for doing ourselves. The trauma, the rape, the molestation, the abuse, the divorce, whatever it is, the low self-esteem, the I don't have confidence, I'm overweight, I don't like how I look. I remember not even I didn't like being by myself. Wow. I couldn't stand being by myself. I had to be around people because it felt, it normalized the feelings of insecurity and all those things that I was dealing with. And I remember God showing me this mirror. And so what I say to people first, you gotta take out the mirror. Let's look at the mirror. Let
the mirror come down. Point number one, let the mirror come down.
Man in the mirror. Let the mirror come down and look in it, and don't be afraid and don't be ashamed and don't have guilt and condemnation of what you see. Understand this, that what we see is only a reflection of the things that we need to change or things that we need to change.
That's right. That's right. Good.
Period. Okay. Period. And so once you start looking in that mirror, Kim, then we can start taking inventory. Next, after you didn't pull down the mirror, we need to take inventory. What is it?
Number two, take inventory.
Did I miss some spots? Do I need some foundation right here? Do I need to put some eyeshadow? My eyebrows saying, what do I need to do? Take inventory. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
So point number one, let that mirror come down. And then point number two,
take inventory of the things that you see. You must take inventory of the things that you see. It is important. And then number three, you cannot be afraid of what you see.
Okay.
You cannot.
Number two is take inventory. Okay. And you said point number 3, say it again.
Point number 3 is you cannot be afraid of what you see. You cannot be afraid of what you see. And number 4, you have to be willing to do the work. We must be willing to do the work. It's not going to be easy. It does not feel good, but it's necessary. It's necessary because we were not created to carry trauma around. We were not created to walk around with holes in our soul, bleeding while leading, leading while bleeding. We were not created to lead while we are bleeding. And many of our leaders of all kind are leading while bleeding, and they are bleeding while leading. We must do the work.
And the work is getting yourself in order.
Getting yourself in order. Listen, if I'm no good, I can't be of help or assistance to anybody. And we run ourselves in the ground because I'm trying to fix this one and fix that one. And oh, they need me. And we don't take time for self-care. When we get on the airplane, before that airplane takes off, what does it tell us, Kim? It says, put on your own first.
Then you can assist somebody else. You can assist anybody while you passed out. So it's like, I can't help you. I can't help you. So yes, that's why I told everybody already. Next week, I'm doing this week because I already have all of my guests lined up. So Monday through Friday this week, I got you. Yeah. But next week, Kim Jacobs show is going to be off the air for 1 week.
And you got to be okay with that.
I'm okay with that. I'm telling everybody else so y'all can get okay with it.
You hear me? Because what happens is that as leaders, people get used to us showing up and being present. I remember I was doing my midnight prayer, and at midnight, the birthing of a nation only happens through prayer. And God had me on that journey. Oh my God. I did it probably every day for like 3 months before we went into this huge trial with police harassment and brutality. That's a whole different story. Mm-hmm. But before that, I was asking God, I need some grace. I need to be able to pull back. And people were getting blessed, and miracles was literally happening on this live video. People writing in the comments, the pain is gone. I can see now all these things are happening. But Larita Rice-Barnes, I had to take some time to myself to be made whole, to deal with the trauma and the effects of what had happened to us, because then we start pouring from an empty cup.
That's right. That's what Mother Patricia Lofton is, one of our state supervisors of women in the Church of God in Christ, and in the North Carolina Second Jurisdiction. She officially says you cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to have a full cup, and you give of your overflow. But there's no way for you to just, if your stuff is empty, your back is empty, what can you give? You can't give anything.
Yes.
That's why I need powerful people on the show this week like you, because here you are, you got a full cup over there. I'm over here depleted a little bit. But it's okay to recognize that I know that.
Absolutely. And sometimes we know that, but we won't take the inventory. We will not acknowledge it. Iron sharpens iron. And there are going to be some days when I'm just feeling like, oh my God. And I'm going to need somebody else that got some energy to help. And it works out like that all the time. It's like a balancing act to one degree. Today I have it. Tomorrow you may have it and I need it. Vice versa. It may be a day that we both have it.
Right. But God knows who you need, when you need. I don't know you. I didn't know you at all before you becoming a guest here on the Kim Jacobs show. So for that to happen and it be in alignment, I just believe nothing happens by happenstance.
Yes.
But God already knew that my friend was going to pass and that Monday's guest was going to be you.
My God.
In the world.
And let me tell you, yesterday, and I said, Lord, I don't know. I was moving through this thing. And when you start talking, I said, that was the press that I was feeling even in the spirit. Because at first I was like, oh my God, I got to do this interview. I got to go travel through from my class to here, what. But he knew that there was some synchronization that needed to happen for this moment. And that healing was going to take place on your platform today. And that strength will be poured in you, even as you prepare for your sabbatical. He's with us.
Thank you.
With us.
Thank you. Actually, when I was there's so many triggers in life because I was drinking from this cup And this cup is actually filled with rainbow colors, as you can see.
Yes.
And anybody that knows me knows that like there's this upside down rainbow. And that is my son when he passed away.
Wow.
When my children played a basketball game in honor of him, they looked up in the sky and they saw a smiley face rainbow. And
Wow.
so that picture, I put it everywhere all the time, and it's literally a rainbow that in one of my sons has a picture that has the eyes and the nose. It's a smiley face rainbow, and my son Gabriel smiled all the time. He had deep dimples, and he always smiled, giant that smiled all the time. And this cup, my friend Cherie gave me, and she wanted me to be able to have the rainbows that I would drink from. And this is my friend's cup that she gave me that passed away this past weekend. So even as I drink from my cup, I feel like, I'm getting energy and strength from her, just blessings from blessing that she gave me. My blessings come from God. So let's be clear. I ain't talking about no waves and stuff like that. I'm talking about the positive spirit and vibe that I'm getting from just drinking from a cup that she gave me.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
So let's talk some more about you believe that every person can win.
I believe that every person. I believe that.
Why do you believe that?
I believe that because one, you pointed out something earlier. What typically happens in a lot of the instances of what I've experienced, molestation, rape, my mom becoming victim to the war on drugs through crack addiction, being an alcoholic, being raised in urban community, right in the middle of the hood, the ghetto, all those things. Didn't grow up with my father in the house. Just so many different things. The odds stacked against you. But my thing, if God can do it for me, He can do it for anybody. He can do it for anybody. So my tolerance is low. For people after you get to a certain point and you're like, I just can't. No, first of all, Scripture tells us I can do all things I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, through Christ who gives me strength. And so with that alone, as believers, through the Word of God, we know that we've already been given that promise through the Word, through His Word. In addition to that, I tried them. It ain't just a song. I tried them for myself. I don't need nobody else. Because I have tried Him.
Go ahead.
And He has proven Himself faithful over and over and over and over and over again. The midst of the dark places when I literally felt my mind slipping away from me. So when people say it's a thin line between love and hate, I say it's a thin line between sanity and insanity. When I wanted to slip my wrists or drive off the bridge, didn't want to be here anymore, saying, Lord, I can't win, not wanting to even breathe, didn't even know if I was worthy to breathe. But He let me. He didn't have to wake me this morning, but He did. You understand what I'm saying? So because of that and the triumphant power of God and His everlasting grace that have been proven to me, I believe everybody can win.
Everybody
can win.
Everybody. And that's why I want to go back to some of the points for some of you that are just joining. This is probably some good takeaway points for you to know that Pastor Larita Rice-Barnes said, number one, you say the point once. Let's say,
let the mirror come down.
Let the mirror come down.
Let the mirror come down.
Point number two,
take inventory.
Yes. Point number three,
don't be afraid of what you see.
This is some good stuff. You've already dropped serious knowledge. Point number four,
you must be willing to do the work.
Already some great teaching, and I know that you do global work as well, and you're very passionate about that. So I want to give people a chance to hear about this pastor from the project.
From the hood, in the middle of the hood. Yes, ma'am.
In the middle of the hood, that overcame so many different obstacles and things that were happening to you that you never welcomed, but you overcame so much.
Yes.
And now you're taking your vision and your mission globally. Tell us about that.
Taking it globally. So Global Impact Leadership Alliance is my baby that God gave me, also known as Gila. It was birthed out of the conference that I host annually called Reset America, Reset Africa.
Yeah.
It's a conference that God gave me. The first time I went to Africa was Kenya in 2014. And while I was in the airways, he gave me reset, regroup, refocus, realign. And so we did that conference every year since then. The global work, so it became a platform for dignitaries and organizational leaders and pastors and community people from across the globe, literally. We had the Deputy Speaker of Uganda, Jacob Ulanya, and several of the people from the parliament there that was flying every year to come to the conference, scheduled to come this year, and then COVID hit. God has granted favor. So Uganda has become part of our main platform. East Africa is where I do most of the work. We have a church in Kenya, which is in Tanzania, Empowerment of Grace.
Right.
There we have 2 missions in Uganda. We have Empowerment of Grace, Lazira. We have a church there. And then we have our Empowerment of Great work that operates through Kampala, which is the city, the center city, and then Busia, which is another area there. The work has been amazing. We have 7 areas of influence. In the church world, we call them the 7 mountains of influence.
Right.
In business, seven areas of influence, which are arts and entertainment, it's media, it's business, it's family, it's education, it's government, it's religion. And we look for people who are dominating in those areas, who are passionate in those areas. And so we've been building these relationships and listening campaigns around social and economic empowerment and sustainability, around health equity, dismantling erroneous laws, and being present front row and center to help to be part of the creation of laws that are going to help empower those that are most vulnerable, particularly Black and brown bodies.
Right.
Our mission is making sure first that Black bodies are saved. It's not an act of being biased or racist, but God, He tells us, let charity first begin at home. Black people, that's who I am. And so I believe, and then He tells us that when we don't take care of our own houses and children, that we're worse than an infidel. And so I want to make sure that I am giving and sowing and to my heritage and to my legacy first, but in addition to that, bringing others along as well.
I love this. I love this. How can people, so first, let me put this, every person can win. That's Pastor Larita Rice-Barnes quote. And I encourage you guys, if you haven't subscribed to the Kim Jacobs Show, these are the kind of guests that I bring on the show to be able to help you from all angles of your life, balance it just mentally better, whether it's from stuff that's happened in your childhood, stuff that's happening in your mid-years, elderly years, obviously even to the grave and even beyond the grave. Based on my spiritual belief, I bring people that can talk and touch you from all walks of life, because this thing called life, it can sometimes try to get the best of you.
Yes.
And so that's what the Kim Jacobs Show is here for, to bring guests that can tap into some aspect of connecting with something that maybe you've encountered in your life. And they can speak to that thing that maybe I could never speak to, but I'm bringing someone on that can speak to your situation. So please make sure you subscribe today to the Kim Jacobs Show. You can go right to my YouTube channel. Even if you follow me on Facebook and other social media platforms, take a moment to subscribe on YouTube, hit the notification button, turn it to all, and you'll be alerted when we come live, okay? If you'd like to become a Patreon member, that's patreon.com. And all you have to do is go to patreon.com / the Kim Jacobs Show, and you'll be able to become a Patreon member. Here's some after party content that you normally don't get exposed to except for during the after party. So that's important to know too, okay? All right. So how do people join in on some of these efforts that you're doing globally, Pastor Barnes?
Yes, absolutely. And I forgot, because I know you included it too on the amazing flyer that you guys created. It's my pink stilettos.
We can talk about the pink stilettos.
Okay,
that's how we close it out. So don't talk about the pink stilettos yet. We transition into that next.
Okay. So they some of the things that they can get involved in is our mission trips. Once a year, I go to Uganda in October. Obviously, COVID has halted that for this year, but I participate in national prayer breakfast there with the government. We're hosted by Parliament there, and we have lots of preaching engagements, lots of mission efforts. Those that are in ministry, those that are in business. There's just an array of things. Those that are in arts and entertainment and media. We have connections all across the country there in Uganda, Africa, and they can get plugged in. And so they can contact me through, I know you'll give out information at some point, but my website, resetyourlife2.com. They can also, of course, find me on social media to reach out. And I'm at Larita Rice-Barnes. My name is there on my author's page, on my personal page, on the public figure page. Inbox me. We're always looking for team members. We also have our membership that's open. And with that, I'm a part of Lonely USA with Dr. Ambassador Peterson. She was ambassador to Barack Obama, President Obama, the 44th president, and have been fortunate to do amazing work with her. And so we work with 100 countries. So those that want to plug in and become a member can reach out to me and become a member of this fabulous community. We have men empowerment. We're doing work in India. We're doing work in Africa. So we're five continents. I'm excited about that. North America, South America. We are in Africa, Asia, Europe. Real live connections. And so I'm just super excited about what God has done in such a short period of time. And so those that really want to launch their international ministries and businesses, we can help them do that successfully.
That's really good, Pastor Barnes. Now, so on all social media platforms, regardless of which ones they are, make sure you follow Pastor Larita Rice-Barnes, yes. And you can inbox her. She will respond back to you directly. So make sure that you do that. And also you can go to resetyourlife2.com, resetyourlife2.com, and you'll be able to learn more about all of the different products, the services, how you can get plugged in, how you can go on some of these mission trips with her. And so do you ever pull together some people and go on these journeys together, or how does that work?
So yes, we do open it up for others to join us on the trips. We have on our calendar Dubai, we have Thailand, and we have India, in addition to Africa. Oh, and London. And so I don't want to leave that out. And so I'm just super excited. So yes, they are invited to come. We can walk them through the steps that they need to take in order to come, what they need, immunizations or what forms, all those different things to help them to be able to get over and back with success.
Good. So they go just to resetyourlife2.com and they can get information from there?
They can get information from there. They can shoot me a message and then we can respond back. They can let us know what they're looking for. And then someone will get back with them.
Okay. So reach out to Pastor Larita Barnes on social media. You can inbox her. She'll respond back to you. She'll pull you in, get those steps. So how you can be a part of the global initiative and it sounds like some really fun, life-changing experiences. You can use your gifts and your talents to preach the word of God or teach or coach or whatever it is that's your gift. We believe, I believe, and Pastor Larita Rice-Barnes believes that every person has a gift. Yes. I know I can speak on her behalf, that all of us believe that you have a gift and a talent that the world needs to know. So.
Absolutely. And Kim, I'd like to say I'm the woman with the hammer. I'm cracking open alabaster boxes for all of those that are locked up and feel stuck. I'm cracking it open because that's part of my mandate and my assignment is to help people to get to their next place and to open doors. And so I'm so excited to be able to do that.
I'm excited that you came on the Kim Jacobs Show, especially today, because I needed this level of high energy. So thank you for being my guest. Let me go to today's episode sponsor, and then we're going to transition to the pink stilettos. Okay, so we can close out on a more positive note here. Okay. Today's episode is sponsored in part by StartMyTruckingCompany.com. StartMyTruckingCompany.com is an all-inclusive plan to be able to help you start a trucking company from scratch. You can learn everything pretty much that you need to know from A to Z on how to be able to have your trucking business plan. You'll learn more about the trucking industry, international trucking routes. The actual owner and founder has over 30 years in the trucking industry and will help you learn everything you need to know, from creating a call center to being able to have everything to start your own trucking business successfully and right away. The phone number is 214-699-5009. Again, 214-699-5009. The email is info@startmytruckingcompany.com. Please make sure you let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you. And thank you, Start My Trucking Company, for being today's episode sponsor. Tell us about these pink stilettos over there, Pastor Larita Rice-Barnes.
Yes. Yes. So I'm excited about my pink stilettos. And it's a compilation of stories of 17 women from across the globe. It's 17 of us. I have a global ambassador. She is in the Netherlands. We have one that's in South Africa, one that's in London, UK, one's from Afghanistan, currently in India. And all of the other authors are from all over the U.S. And I'm so excited about it. We're sharing stories of trials and triumphs and victories, powerful stories. One of my sisters, she is a 9/11 survivor. She was on the last train that come in when the towers were tumbling down. My good sister and friend, Dawn Whitty, who connected us, she's also one of the authors of, yay! She's also one of the authors in my pink stilettos. That's my sister from another mother. I'm just so excited for all of the authors. We have lots of them. I'm not going to call all their names, but I am so excited about the work. And for some of them, this project, I actually was going to do it in 2017 when the police harassment and brutality, all of that happened. There was a stick pin put in it. And what I say is that the seed was planted and it's been germinating ever since. And God let it spring forth for such a time as this, so that all of these amazing women can be a part of the project. For some of them, it's their very first time ever writing. And that was part of the vision, Kim, for those who could not get out a whole book. Let's start with a chapter. You can't get a whole chapter. Let's start with a couple pages. And that has been their testimonies. And so some of them are saying, now I can write the book. I got the strategy. I can do it. So I'm excited. It's being released next month. And it's in commemoration of breast cancer awareness. My pink. Stiletto. So it's coming out next month, and pink, the color, it deals with nurturing and love, compassion, and all of these ladies have exemplified that throughout their life up to now. So I'm excited to be leading this project and co-authoring this book with them.
And how can people get a copy of?
They can get a copy of the book a couple ways. They can go to my website, resetyourlife2.com. They can also find it on Eventbrite. Right now, we're still in pre-sale, so they can go to Eventbrite, type in my pink stilettos on Eventbrite. It will bring it up. The book would also be available through Amazon and the major distribution outlets starting next month, so they'll be able to find it on Amazon as well.
All right. Listen, guys, my pink stilettos, you definitely want to go ahead and pre-order your copy. You can get it right on Eventbrite and just type in.
I forgot. I have these. They came in. These are cell phone holders. And so I'm giving these out for gifts. For those that are purchasing their books. I only have so many, so they need to get them in. I also have, they're over there, but some of the pink ribbons. I have pink ribbons that people can get and make their charms on their necklaces and their bracelets. So I'm just excited for this. So get your orders in so that they can get.
Yes, I definitely want my shoe. Yeah. I want my cell phone holder too. So my case is purple, but I'm put my purple and my pink and enjoy that. So that is incredible. My pink stilettos, the journey of 17 different women, and they're sharing just snippets of their lives before they go and write their own individual books. So you're going to get to learn about 17 new authors through my pink stilettos. You can pre-order it on resetyourlife.com. resetyourlife2.com, or you can also type in at Eventbrite my pink stilettos and pre-order. You're going to get, for a limited amount of people, you're going to get a stiletto cell phone holder, and you're going to also get a nice ribbon that you can actually use to make a charm. And I am so excited. Yes. All right. Let me see what else other people. Oh my God. Oh, people at backstage say, "Oh my God, I love those. I need one." That's what people in the back office are saying.
I love them.
They're supposed to be typing the points about, about what I'm supposed to put up on the screen. They're like, "No, I need that."
Yes.
They're trying to read their comments.
Yes, must have. Got to get them. And so I only have so many. So as people are placing their orders, they can get a shoe.
All right. So let's see. I am going to go to a few studio audience member comments and give them a chance to chime in. People have been commenting like crazy. I love the collaboration.
Card. Yes.
That's my brother. Allison Ski said reset and refocus.
Yes.
Oh, somebody said, "I want that pink shoe." Well, go ahead and get that order in, Lady Justine Hilliard. She's getting that shoe. She's going to place that order. Okay. Dawn Whitty says divinely guides and inspired.
Yes.
I am a real amen. Wear pink ambassador.
All right now. Yeah.
He's a real man that wears pink. And
my husband is too. He wears pink. He's all man. Y'all can be buddies.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. Courtney's my brother. He actually has my Courtney Wellness Companion, and it's an app and a program to help. He's lost about 90 pounds and non-surgically, and has kept it off for many years. So make sure you guys connect with my brother, Courtney Jacobs. And Courtney, again, anytime you ever want to come back on and just talk about some updates regarding my wellness companion, my Courtney Wellness Companion, please make sure you do. And it's Courtney with 2 E's in that case. It's COURTNEE Wellness Companion. Okay. Let's see. Break those alabaster boxes. That's what you do over there, Pastor Barnes. Make sure you can connect with her on resetyourlife2.com. Dawn Whitty says reset. At Reset Conference.
Yes.
In Uganda. So she must be a part of that with you.
She's attended the conference for the past 3 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Adija Julia says, "I'm watching and listening from Kampala, Uganda." Oh, wow. That's awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in from Uganda. I appreciate it. Please spread the word to everyone you know as well, Julius, that it would be great for them to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show and be a part of the daily virtual studio audience at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Now, everybody remember, next week is going to be the week that I'm off. So that's the only week I'm going to be off next week. Okay. Let's see. Dawn Whitty. I need a moment to reset and refocus myself here. There's been a lot going on. All right. This is so great. Richard Griffin, thank you. All right. Let's see. Any more comments? It's like my aunt Geraldine in Newport News, Virginia says, "Good morning. Good morning to you, Aunt Geraldine. I'm glad you're joining today and watching." All right.
Courtney says it's actually an initiative called Real Men Wear Pink.
Wow. Oh. Okay.
I need to be connected with them.
Oh, yeah.
And advocate.
That'd be really good, and collaborate. Oh, you typed wholeness in your life. Yes, Dr. Pauline Long. Excellent for claiming that. My mom is on, and she said, "Good morning, Kim and Pastor Larita."
Good morning.
All right, guys. Lots of comments came in. Robert said amen to something you said at the very beginning of the broadcast. So you were saying amen right from the beginning. So a lot of people commented. And then Mother Julia Harper, she's 83 years old. She watches on YouTube every day. And she just says hello as well.
Awesome.
Okay, who else has some more comments here? That's great, Courtney Jacobs. Okay. Spreading your show to the motherland. Thank you, Allison.
Yeah.
The Kim Jacobs Show. Yes. I need you guys. Y'all do some testimonials and spread the word. Breast Cancer Foundation. And then he also said it's actually an initiative called Real Men Wear Pink. So look into that. Mother Patricia Lofton, that's the one I was telling you about earlier, saying that you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, you didn't talk her up. Look, she came off the spirit. Hey.
You deserve a week off. Yeah. Oh, I know. I knew you were going to say that, Mother Lofton, and be like, I told you. Get yourself a break. So now she's putting it up publicly. She's like, didn't I tell you?
Right.
You need a little break too. Yes, ma'am. I'm very compliant. I will be taking a break next week. Okay. Let's collaborate. Pastor Larita would be happy to connect with your hubby.
Yes, and we need that wellness plan. I've been trying to figure out what can we do. We need a coach over here.
You will love being coached by Courtney.
Awesome.
Guess what? One thing he does is he like lifts watermelons like as part of his
weight. Wow.
And then he shows you crack the watermelon open and eat. It's so cool. Anyway, so you're gonna love Courtney. Not because he's my brother, but just because he has some great tips and stuff. Okay.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Make sure you guys go and be a part of the Quest Church prayer line. Actually, on Monday, it's Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:30. But during this time, Pastor Jacobs, on Monday in particular, he kind of revisits the Word of God from Sunday and answers any specific questions you may have. So whether you have a question or not, you'll be able to hear the answer to it. He'll reveal some of those answers. And he's praying for COVID-19, the wildfires, the hurricanes, the earthquake, you name it, everything that's been happening. He is praying and leading prayer during 12 to 12:30, Monday through Friday. And it's 978-990-5000. Access code is 322083#. Again, that's Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:30. So make sure you be a part of that. And I'd like to thank everyone that participated in the Gabe's Heart Foundation 5K walk this past Saturday. It was incredible. The virtual 5K walk in honor of my son, Gabe. The proceeds will go to a full week of random acts of kindness called Doing It Gabe's Way. And I'd like to thank all of our sponsors. And I will be listing on social media every single sponsor that sponsored today, the Gabe's Heart Walk. Okay. So thank you all. Tomorrow we have Veronica Woodard, founder and president of STGN 49 Atlanta, the TV broadcasting station. She'll be on talking about women in television broadcasting. And then we have coming up on Wednesday, Soné. Soné is creative Christian artist, certified minister, and he's going to be talking about how to overcome. And then on Thursday, okay, now Mother Lofton, don't judge me. This is the title of his book, Get the HELL Out of Your Own Way, is what his title of his book is. And he's going to share tips and tools to heal your past and create a life that you love. And this is going to be Jan Grobler. He's going to be sharing that. He's a life transformational coach. All right. Awesome. Come on. You can come show it. Okay. So my daughter wants to show everybody.
Guess what? I grew this.
Oh.
Don't pour it on me.
Awesome.
She's growing an avocado.
Okay. Hey.
Over there, and yes, leaves.
Here, Lee, no, they can't see your face.
Your uncle will appreciate you having avocado.
Okay, go get them. All right. Well, we're going to the after party, everybody, and hopefully Pastor Barnes will be able to come back and share some more stuff with my Patreon members in a few minutes. Do you have any closing comments?
Just thank you so much for having me on the show. Thank you to our great friend and sister.
Wait, let me let you close. I'll let her show this point. Go ahead.
This one.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yes.
We're so proud of you.
Thanks.
You have that gardener's thumb. Okay. Okay. Great job, Jayla. Okay. Tell us your closing comments, Pastor Barnes.
Just thankful for Sister Dawn Whitty for making the connection. Thank you for opening your platform up to me. Truly has energized me on today. And so I'm just super excited to be here with you. Look forward to connecting sometime in the near future. And just thankful for all of the guests that chimed in with us, our friends from Uganda that was here, just everything. So strength and peace to you, praying for you that you will really be replenished and refueled as you go on your sabbatical this week, praying for the family of your friend that has transitioned, that God's presence will supersede in the areas of weakness, that his grace will be sufficient. And I'm just praying that we are able to move through the week peacefully and with grace and strength.
Thank you so much. Then, Pastor, stay backstage. I'm just going to put one thing up as I close out the show, but I'm going to remove you from the screen for a second, okay? I'm also going to end up removing myself from the screen, but stay on, everybody, because I just want you to see, in honor of my friend, that I'm putting this up just in loving memory. And thank you so much, Selwyn Davis, for always providing some type of beautiful image for us to share on the show. And so this is in honor of my friend, Cherie.